years away, in another state lives my former flame. A man I now hate, he broke up with me to pursue his goal. Left me for science, ambition his toll. I'm with another guy now, a man of artistry, emotion and heart his vow. Though I greatly miss some mountain ski trips, my new flame has drive when I kiss his lips. He looks much like you, younger by 2 years, polar opposite of you and your peers. Jason, my life is with you now, a man of artistry, emotion, heart your vow. My mind's made up, why I picked him. We're too much alike, both you and me. Opposites attract, we're six charge triumphs, like repels like as water flows
Let's get this stream started. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go!
How's it going, everyone? It's Tyster Blue here, and I am here with revisiting MMORPG Tycoon 2, but I do have a few announcements before I go into the game proper. So, as many of you guys know, next week I am going to be on vacation. So, I don't know if there's going to be any more streams between now and Sunday, but just let you guys know that next week is going to be, so next week I'm going to be on vacation and part of the following week. So, actually probably most of the following week as well. There's a few other things as well. Namely, so as of today, I'm no longer associated with Bad Batch or anything related to SOTOR or anything like that. There was a falling out between myself and a couple others of the group over the weekend. And differences in personality, differences in expectations, differences in play style, and I think and after a heated argument on Sunday, And the fact that they kicked me out this morning after not contacting me for almost 3 days. After they kicked me out, it is decided that I will have nothing to do with them anymore. So there will not be any more, like, there wasn't really any SOTOR content anyway since March, but that today was basically the final nail in the coffin. So unfortunately there will not be any more anything with anyone in that group. I have left. Well, I shouldn't say I've left. It's more of they kicked me out. Then they've decided that they want nothing to do with me. So I was going to be doing Wednesday weeklies this week, though with recent events going on in 14, because we were playing Final Fantasy 14 together. I think it's best that I step back from that for a while. I'm in the process of finding a new community to hopefully do things with in 14, and I don't know how that's going to go, because it seems like there's a lot of I know it's a lot of social skills issues and stuff like that, but it seems like no matter where I go, drama seems to follow. And I don't know if it's just, I think a lot of it is social skills, and a lot of it might be just personality and stuff like that. But I think in this case, I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to... Well, in some ways I can kind of think of how I'm going to go forward, but at the same time, I kind of need to figure out what exactly is going to be happening. But, so, I kind of wanted to point that out so that way people ask, why, it's Wednesday, aren't you normally doing Wednesday weeklies? But, as I said today, I was planning on doing it. But with me prepping for Med Trip, and also the recent events that happened with my former friend group in Final Fantasy 14, it's probably for the best that I do something different today. And so I kind of wanted to get back into this game. I think at this point I'm going to hop into primary game mode. So a little bit of backstory. For those that don't know anything about my fantasy project or anything like that, I've been posting a lot of videos regarding it lately, particularly the different cultures and stuff that take place within the world. So, in short, the Transcendents is a fantasy project that I've been working on for many years, off and on. And these three landmasses here, I'll kind of go into what they look like, and it's a very truncated version of the world of Terranos. It's a very truncated version of the world of Terranos that is the main setting of the Transcendents. I only show 4 of the 6 continents. 2 of them are kind of combined by a land barrier. Kind of like how Europe and Asia are kind of treated as, physically Europe and Asia would be the same landmass, but politically, because of Europe's status and those in power, they kind of treat themselves separate as the rest of Asia. And that's why, and so the Europe between, in real life, the divide between Europe and Asia is political. And in this world, the divide between Safik and Shisaro is kind of the same way. Two of the continents are not shown in this game because they are treated as the unknown world. So this is only treated as the four continents of the known world, although technically part of the southwestern continent here, Rikelsen, is more of, part of this is the unknown world and part of this is the known world. And I have no control over the way that the land masses look and stuff in this game, so it's not exactly representative of what things would look like in the actual game and stuff. But here I actually kind of started something off camera. I don't know when, but it wasn't today. And I kind of wanted to, so I guess I can kind of talk about things while I'm actually building them. So let's just go into, and no, my game sound is not off. It is, it's just that there's not really anything to, okay, like there isn't really any, I just wanted to make sure my headphones were, okay, is there, okay, never mind. So anyways, I need to build a couple starting zones. But the downside is that the two starting zones are kind of not really connected to each other because I don't think this game has factions yet. If it had factions, then I think that this project would be a little bit more approachable. But at this time, it doesn't. But there are two primary starting zones. You can start in the... this place is what we call the Plains of Kapanas. And I don't really have control over what the buildings and stuff look like either. And a lot of this game, in terms of its art style, is definitely based off of World of Warcraft. But this here is, like I already labeled all the zones. This here is the Plains of Kapanas, which is like the main location for the Legion of Kapanas. So I think there are going to be some sequence breaks because of the fact that there is that there are no factions. So I shouldn't say sequence breaks, but there's definitely some breaks in the lore. What is that? That looks like a stone. Can I delete it? Oh, backspace is destroy. Okay. In most games, you hit delete, but not here. So that is kind of... So I can kind of go with... And I don't know if I actually really went into anything, really. A lot of this stuff like this, I can kind of go with... Let's just kind of delete a lot of these. And... Okay, WASD allows you to just pan the camera. Okay, actually you can also pan the camera with my mouse wheel. It's been a while since I've played this game, so you have to please bear with me. And I'm just kind of deleting a lot of this stuff because I don't know what I'm going to be doing with it. And it doesn't really, I just need to be able to clean stuff out. And I think that this stream, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be doing. Well, actually, I kind of know what I'm going to be doing, but not at the same time. It's not really... Let me kind of zoom in and see what I can do here. So, I think the sky is pretty good for what it is. And yes, I know that there's the town that's kind of... there's the town there that's kind of glitching out, but when I build the network, which I think I built the network now, but it's not really powered up. I think part of it is powered up and part of it isn't. But this here is like the cap. This here is supposed to be like the Legion's capital, Paskopanos. And it looks like there's a few places in here that are not really. Let's hit time normal, and for some reason, I think we need to add. I don't know. Is this capacitor is accumulates using unused bandwidth? Okay, so never mind. Everything looks like it's being powered up. So in both parts of the world, I don't know if there's what's going on here, why these are not being powered up. But this here is meant to be like the starting gate. And I think for the time being, I think I'm only going to allow players to enter in through the Legion lands. I'll open up the Narison area later. So, because there's going to be 2 starting zones. There's going to be, I know I'm kind of going off on tangents and stuff like that, but I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna approach this. So so one of these is cables. Fiber is. Can I build a cable? No bandwidth source. That is kind of unfortunate. So why am I not getting any power? Okay, now it's starting to give me power. I think it's just that. Oh yeah, that's right. The cursors are. Oh, something's happening. Am I not getting any music? Vector Storm presents. Developed with the assistance. Oh yeah, I should mention that this is an Australian game, but for some reason I'm not getting any sound though. But it looks like the game is kind of opening up, and there's a lot of showing all the devs and stuff like that. I'm not sure where this is. I don't know where those playing. Yeah, and then those are like the forges and stuff like that. Not a whole lot to really go over to, but apparently I opened up the. I kind of wish this game had a little bit more. Okay, that should have been one line there. Transcendents needs to be one line. For some reason, it got turned into 2. But it looks like. I don't know if the game. Okay, I got my first players, so I need to actually pause the game. So, what's going on in configuration here? So, what's hot? Hotfix, new monster type, new NPC type, open a new region. So, we need to add in. Okay, regular update, major update. I don't know what's coming here. So. Oh, you got to actually hit new update as well. So what's going to go here? So we get 74 new monster type, 59 new technology, 38 new player class, 32 new art theme, 30 is streamer event upcoming. Okay, so they want me. So apparently there's going to be a streamer just like me. Popular web influencer Kid in Purple. You guys can't see it because Tyler's in the way. But I'm going to take Tyler off the screen for the time being so you guys can actually read along with me. Popular web influencer Kid in Purple has announced that they'll be live streaming themselves playing our game. That should be great publicity for us. The streams should begin on month 1, day 2 at around midnight. Okay, good to know. Alright, so... But here I kind of got a bare bones essential town, but I need to build like a mountain that I gotta go with. What's the next development goal? Requires 1.0.0. If we have a friends list, players can make friends while socializing. Having friends in the game will slightly increase the player's addiction level, make them less likely to unsubscribe. Okay, so a lot of these flight paths, so they've changed things up a little bit. Instant messages requires friends list. Dungeons requires parties. Teleporters requires vehicles. So, but it requires developer hours. Yep, we gotta develop a friends list. I wish I had friends. But, Parties is, okay, so friends list, parties, vehicles, leaderboard. Okay, that requires flight pass, which I think I have already. Leaderboards, PvP duels. Simple anti-cheat. Outsmart the cheaters by integrating this third-party so, what if that's based on easy anti-cheat? Which, that is, if you know anything about hardware, you're not a big fan of that. Yeah, I guess we can kind of go with something like that there. So, new region, Plains of Capanas. New NPC type, which we don't have. Developing friends list. So, yeah, we're not going to worry about those areas yet, but the only area that we kind of have going right now is the Legion. So, within the Legion, there are plenty of things you can do within the capital. Like there are, what is this? That is sturdy taverns. That's where players can hang out. It also looks like there's a couple inns here. The main reason I have a lot of inns is because inns are treated as like log in and log out points. And with this being like the main capital area, it's kind of what I wanted to kind of showcase. So it looks like, what else do we have here? These are market stalls, so this is where players can buy stuff. And then we also have a landmark tower. So this here, I can call this, wonder if I can rename it. It looks like I can. So I'm going to go and, okay, so we got that. So level 1 to 3 landmarks. So we have multiple levels in this zone. And that's going to be kind of, we'll call that one a, I don't know exactly what we kind of go with there, but we also got a blacksmith. I think the blacksmith allows players to upgrade their gear. Potion shop allows them to buy items, to buy some items and stuff, and I think the market stall allows them to sell loot. But this here is kind of meant to be the main town, and as I said earlier, there are no, there's not really like pallet swaps or anything like, so there's not really anything I can do in that regard. So, what was I at? I was trying to build something, and I think I built some roads, and there's a couple buildings and stuff I can kind of go with because it adds more scenery. So what options do I have? We've got landmarks, which I already have. Scenery buildings, which are kind of... I was kind of going with the... Oh, okay, these are actual buildings. Not really what I was aiming for. Modular building, that's kind of what I wanted. So, the Legion is based off... is loosely based off ancient Rome. And... what do we have here? We got modular building. That is... I kind of want something that's a little bit more... Okay, that's definitely not what I wanted. Is there a way to add block to building? No. Requires modular building. There's actually a couple things you can kind of go with. That's more of a desert thing. We're not going to go with that. I kind of want something that's a little bit more... I like the eastern thing there, but that's not really appropriate for what I'm doing. I don't know if that is exactly... Oh yeah, I think it's kind of like this one. I think this is the sturdy set. So we can kind of build something like this here. I wonder what other NPC types we have here. We got quest givers. So usually you want to put monsters first. So, but in order to do that, I kind of need to build the farms. And so there's a lot of stuff that I really need to work on. It's one thing at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day. What is that? Okay, that's the starting point. That's market stall, potion shop, blacksmith, tavern, inn, respawn point. There should actually be 2 respawn points. I don't know if I added one near the entrance. So we're going to go with a sturdy respawn point here as well. This place is kind of what I call, this is Osela. So Osela is kind of a smaller, and there's actually going to be another port town over on the edge, which is Osponea, or just known as Ponea. So you have Oskapenos, which is like the main town, and there's Ponea, which is kind of on the coast, which I haven't quite built yet. But I kind of want players to go from Sela over to the capital, and then from the capital over to Ponea. But Ponea isn't in the game yet. But within Oskapenos, I need to be able to build actual buildings and stuff like that. So all your services are kind of in this area, but the rest of this is going to be kind of scenery buildings. So, and eventually once dungeons are done, then I might be able to put a dungeon in the city as well, but that's going to involve things, one thing at a time. So there's buildings, there's paths. Okay, I can build walls. I wonder if there's like a sturdy wall. I think there is kind of the sturdy wall here. It doesn't tell me what type of wall each one is, but I think this is the, yeah, that's the same style. But we're going to kind of build this right at that. Okay, so that intersects the building. That's kind of not what I wanted. Okay, so we're going to build that as a wall. But I need to make sure that I have enough space. Oh, wait, my headphones keep going off. Is there a way to options? Am I not getting any audio at all? Okay, so music turned on. Oh yeah, I have the UI turned off because clicky stuff kind of really annoys me. So yeah. So I should have music going on now. So I'm surprised that they don't really have music in this game, or maybe they do and I just don't know how to, well, I know how to turn it on, but within Osela, I'm going to put in, and there's actually a couple things I need to figure out what to do with, because there's a couple, what else do we have here? We got scenery, building. There's a lot of stuff that you have to kind of work with. What else do we have here? We also got design. Okay, some design classes. So they gave me three options. They gave me Paladin, Warrior, and Treant, but Treant isn't really... I kind of want to change all this stuff anyway, so... Optimal DPS 3, average time to level 0, average time between deaths, demands for buff, demands for nerf. I kind of want this to be... What's a good thing here? We're going to go with... I don't know how many classes I can have at a time. I think it's only allowed up to 3. But I kind of want them to be... I'm going to do each one. And this is another case where having factions would be really helpful. Because for now, I can't really do any... Yeah, at this time I can't really do any factions. So I can kind of base them off of like just a generic, and I know it's my game and I'm not going to be able to play as anything other than a guy, but we're just going to go Cabanasian here, and the Cabanasians, I kind of want to base them off of the Roman legions. So I think the base mana is going to be kind of like that. And we're going to put in... So we're going to put in... What's a good skin color? The Cabanasians are kind of fair skins. So we're going to kind of go with... I think we're going to kind of go with something like this. And then they have brown hair. So brown is... What's a good color for brown hair? Put that right there. Hey Diamond, how you doing? How you doing today? So we're gonna put. I don't know what that is. Okay, that looks like tusks. So we're not gonna go into that one. These eyes. Okay, these are eye. This is like eye color. Except I don't really see a secondary eye color. So, but we kind of want to go with brown hair there. And it seems like that's kind of the only thing that we have with that. So we're gonna go with. Are you so happy? Glad that you're happy there. I know I kind of had to make an announcement this morning. Yeah, things are not going well on my end, but I'm glad things are working great for you. What else is that? Okay, so that's a suit of armor. I kind of want something that's a little bit more. I don't know if that's exactly what I'm aiming for in this. Let me see what other options there are. You can kind of go with the tank top, or you can kind of go with what else is in there? So what is that? Okay, so that is more like another. That's like a different suit of armor there. I don't know if okay. I kind of don't want that. Where was the one I had? Am I okay? As I was saying, so I guess I'll give you the Cliff Notes version because I already kind of went over the details on the stream. But the friend group that I was in for Final Fantasy 14, they kicked me out. So otherwise I would have been in Final Fantasy today. So that's kind of why I'm not feeling so well right now. They kicked me out because of some personality differences, and we had a huge heated argument on Sunday. And they went no contact with me for 3 days, and then this morning they kicked me out. So I am no longer. Well, I'm still going to be playing 14, but I'm looking for a new community to play with, and hopefully things kind of get better over time. So, what was I at? So, I kind of wanted to build, and we're going to go with red for that. And I think we're going to kind of go with... No, I don't want to go with gold. We're going to go with kind of a red color. So... Okay, that's not really... Okay, so I can kind of go with... I don't know if there's like a really bright red. I guess we can kind of go something like there. But... And then gold's fine for that. Yeah, it's like I admit I don't have the best social skills, and I don't necessarily pick up on sarcasm. But there was a huge argument over. Yeah, basically what happened was I was trying to give some instructions on surviving a raid mechanic in the game, and the guy responds by saying the opposite of what I said. And the fact that he's trying to do that and he's trying to pass it off as sarcasm, which I don't mind that, but at the same time, like, it has to do with life. It has to do with their own fun as a game, and I just. But if they are so set in their ways and saying that I can't take a joke, but when it's not a laughing matter, then it's not really a group I want to be with. But they're the ones who kind of kicked me out and now they want nothing to do with me. So But let's kind of move on. So I need to build this guy. So I want this guy to be like the stereotypical Capanacian, so Legionnaire soldier. And sorry, I'm stuttering. If you want to talk about him here, well, glad to hear. You're a good friend, Diamond. Really appreciate you. And by the way, for some reason there's no sound in the game, so that's like if you're not hearing anything, there's no in-game sound or anything right now. So I think I'm gonna keep this. I don't know about adding a. It looks like this face always has a beard. Is there an option for me to not have beard? Okay, so I don't want that. Okay, maybe. Okay, that looks very boxy. I don't really like that. Okay, I don't know about that one either. I guess we can kind of go with something like that. I don't know if I know the big sword. I think that's just. I don't know exactly how that's going to work. Okay, so they can strike or divine hammer. This is stuff I'm going to have to do for later on. But I'm going to have to create abilities for different... like, as I said, there's a lot to kind of... There's a lot to kind of worry about when it comes to stuff like this. Okay, so is there a way to build... Okay, so that's going to be secondary color. Is there a way for me not to have that? Okay, so that way they kind of have a full head. You can give the guy some sombrero, but yeah, that's not going to work. It doesn't really fit the lore. So I'm going to put... That's kind of what he's going to apply. So I'm going to hit apply there. If I was here, if you need me, loyal viewer, and I know what it's like to deal with something like that. No. Yeah, it's not fun. Losing friends is never fun. But I don't know if they were ever really friends in the first place. It was just people that... But I'm in the process of trying to find a new community to hang out in 14, the one that's a little bit more geared towards my playstyle and my goals. Okay, so what else here? We got torso, tail, arms, legs, settings, preset. Preview weapon. Okay, swords. So they can have swords, axes, or wands. They don't have spears. What the hell? Primo, I'm level 100. Axes, swords, or wands. Okay, so we got. So I think this job primarily uses this. Yeah. In the past, now there's just idiots who never understand it. I wouldn't call them idiots because they are intelligent people, but at the same time, it's just different personality. So I'm gonna hit apply to this because I don't want to spend all day doing this kind of stuff. But this next one, we're gonna go with a. We're going to go with the other one, which is Narison. So I'm kind of going with different races and stuff like this. The Narison primarily use, they normally use spears, but we're going to go with barehanded for these guys. And we're going to put that there. Preview animation run, stance, humanoid, quadruped. I guess there's also, oh yeah, because there are multiple stances you can kind of go with. These guys are more hand-to-hand combat, so, but I kind of wanted to change their model editor up a little bit. These guys are like these are the Peach Tribe people, so we're going to kind of go with something like that. I kind of like that view a little bit, although it doesn't seem like there's any eyes though, so I don't know if it's just because they have, but we're going to put a torso. we kind of want to give them. Okay, we're not going to give them that. Okay, that one looks like that. It's a floating head. This game also looks really cool. Yeah, it. I have another project that I used to work on that's a little more involved, but I kind of abandoned that when I'm kind of starting over. And I need to get like a tribal loincloth is what I'm aiming for this guy. So let me see what we have here. Is there like anything that's more of like a... Okay, actually this one doesn't look too bad, except it looks like the head is way higher than everything else. What else we have here for legs? So what else we have here? We got... is there like a barbarian preset that I can kind of go with? Okay, so no, that's too big. So let me see what other options we have here. Yeah, the hearts. I'm kind of looking for like a tribe thing. Cowboy, doctor, farmhead, explorer, goats, golem. I think it was on Hoplite for what I was doing. Oh, there's actually a Legionnaire option right there. Lol. But we're not gonna go with those. Actually, there's a lot of pre-builds that I've used. That I'm not. Okay, you guys. There's trees. There's velociraptors. If you like velociraptors, there's that option. I guess we can kind of go with that for now. And let me see what tomorrow. You got to go now. I'll be back in a bit. Well, thanks for stopping by. I'll still be here. So let's see what other options we have here. We're going to go with... I kind of want that. Okay, that looks a little better, but not by much. Go back to my other head options. Let me see what we have here. So we got... Okay, so that is there. You're helping your mom today. Won't get to see her again until after tomorrow. Well, I'm assuming she's going on a trip. Okay, that hair is way too long. Okay, that's the really big head. I like the hairstyle, but I don't like the rest of it. What else? What other options do I have here? Okay, there's that one as well. Okay, that one's got a ponytail though. That one, I don't know if that's... I think the hair is too long. Okay, the head's too big. Okay, what's that? Okay, that is... public... Yeah, I think... I don't know if time will... Yeah, because... I hope I feel better. Like, I've got my trip coming up, so... There is that. Let me see here. We're going to go with blue for these guys. And where's... Okay, hair color, we're going to go with blonde. Yeah, Narison have different hair colors and stuff like that, but a lot of them are really known for their blonde hair, so we're going to kind of go with that there. And then I think we're going to go with the dark blue for the like the accessories and stuff. And I'm not going to give them a hat. So they kind of look like that. And yeah, and we'll just call that a man bun because there aren't really a lot of options, and I kind of want them to have a little bit more. And let me see what else we have here, because that's really pale, isn't it? Let me see if there's something a little more tanned, but not super tanned. Okay, not like that though. That looks like sunburn. We're gonna kind of go with... I don't know if that's exactly what I wanted, or if there's something a little bit darker that I can kind of go with. Let me see here. So let's just say that... Okay, actually that looks kind of cool. And the eyes, normally I would say blue eyes, but at the same time though, that I think that's supposed to be like the sclera. So let me see if I can give them blue eyes like that. So that way it kind of represents the irises. So we're going to hit apply. And brown, is that? Okay, that's not brown. We're going to kind of go with whitish color. Or is that the same? That's the same as their skin tone. So actually, that might be better. So we have those, and then the Cabanasians, I'm going to go back to their model editor, and I'm going to go into their eye colors. That way, give them brown eyes. Okay, so we'll hit apply on that one. And then the third option is the Zal. Actually, we're going to go with the Nokana. So, and they're definitely not, that way there's a magic class. So, we're going to go into not prefabs, we're going to go into presets. I wonder if Pyromancer would kind of, okay, so we need something a little bit more male. So, okay, that's, oh yeah, that's the really big head. I don't like that. I kind of want something a little bit more. I guess we'll kind of go with, I guess we'll go with this one again. Yeah, as I said, there aren't a whole lot of options. And for the torso, that looks way too feminine, so I'm going to go with, okay, wow, that's way too boxy. Maybe a different prefab will work. No? Preset, we're going to go with, I guess we can kind of go with the, I'm using the hoplite as kind of the default because I think that way I can kind of work with a few things. What do we have here? We got robes. Okay, that's tiny. Wow. Is there something else that I can kind of go with? Okay, there's doctor. Okay, well, doctor definitely doesn't fit. Cowboy definitely doesn't fit. Blacksmith, no. Bard. The bard, I don't know about that. Alchemist, no. I'm looking for like a wizard. And it doesn't seem like there's a lot of options as far as wizards and stuff go. So, because the Pyromancer is way too feminine. Okay, there's Lumberjack, there's Legionnaire, there is Kobold, there is... I don't want to go with Jester though, because Jester... Explorer, Farmhand, Dwarf, Dread Knight, Doctor... Whatever champion is. Okay, so champion... Maybe? Well, then again, that's the same head style as the Narison. We're going to kind of go with that. And then we're going to go with kind of a palish color for the skin tone. Was that the one I was using? No. What was I using? That's a good question. I don't remember what I was using. I guess we can kind of go with that, and then we're going to go with brown eyes again, because most people in the known world have brown eyes. So we're going to kind of go with a darker... Okay, so we're going to go with... what else we have here? We're going to go with a... Okay, so is that... No, that's okay, that's more like a trench coat. That kind of reminds me of Carmen Sandiego, and I'm not... That's not what I'm going with. I know it's not the same colors as her, but it's just the style of the trench coat. So I kind of want something like wizard robes. And a lot of these things look really... I don't know how I can set this. What is a good thing that we can kind of go with? Torso, prefabs. I don't know how to adjust my advanced settings. Okay, that looks... Whoa, what the hell is that? I have no idea what that is. We don't want that, we don't want that. It's really hard to find, like, wizard robes, isn't it? So, what else we have here? We've got, yeah, I don't know why wizard robes are so hard to find in this game. But I guess that's the closest I can think of. Which, if that's the case, might as well use the Pyromancer default. Yeah, as I said, there aren't a lot of options. So, let me see what the Pyromancer... Oh, except that isn't exactly the same outfit, though. Okay, that might work. But we need to get rid of the... We need to change the head. So we're going to put... Okay, wow, that is a big head there. So let's switch eye colors. And then we need to switch these colors as well. The Nokana primarily wear green, so... Green and brown are kind of their main colors. And we're going to give them a brown buckle as well. And I think that's about it for them. So I'm going to hit apply. And what are the options that we have here? So we got abilities, strike or flare. Okay, so these guys have mana though. So I don't know if I really need to buff these guys or nerf these guys, or I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to go with, but I'm not. So I'm kind of on the fence on this. But the Nokana there's one Nokana in the game right now, and there are 3 possible races that you can kind of play as. So that guy's a Nokana. Clid is a Narison. So Ophin's there, but so far only the plains of Kabanas are open. So I guess I can give them a couple abilities. So stare intensely at the target doing 1 damage. Okay, so this is a starting ability. And we're going to go with this is like their auto attacks. So you can kind of change their icon. Let's see if there's anything that looks reddish. So maybe something like that. Okay, that looks really vicious. So okay, that's a hammer. Oh, welcome back, Diamond. Hope everything's going well with you. Okay, actually we'll go with this. So we're going to go with this strike thing, but we're not going to have them stare at the target. We're going to have them flavor text. So here, we're going to go with strike the target with your sword. Okay, Oh, I can't type today. There's an R. Alright, so strike the target with your sword, dealing 1 damage. We can hit apply. And then that's going to be their first. That's going to be their first ability. So hit apply there. We're going to hit cancel. So, oh yeah, just exit out. This next one, I'm going to go with defenestrate. That doesn't seem like a word I would use. So we're going to go with slash the target with your sword. So this here is going to be, it looks like it's going to cost rage. The legionnaires are not very magically, well, to be fair, none of them are really magically inclined. The only, in the world of the Transcendents, the only people that are allowed to use magic, or that can use magic, can as in capabilities, not can as in legal, are either the avatars of the gods or those that have been blessed by the avatars of the gods. So for the purposes of, so we kind of have to work things up a little bit. So it looks like we're going to kind of go with a reddish color here. So I'm going to go with red there, and the effect type is physical. Path type is going to be a straight attack. As a bow, crossbow, or gun equipped, they will play weapon animations into normal animation. Okay, so, but this isn't really a, looks like it's a 5-meter range. Doesn't really show me what the okay, yeah, it says 3 damage, 1 rage, single target. Oh, okay, there we go. Self only, melee range, missile range, sniper range. Okay, we got this. Instant cast, 1 second cooldown, single target. So all values shown assume level 1. So at least we kind of got that one there. Flavor. So mechanics, okay, we want to change this up a little bit as well. Once again, I'm kind of wanting to go with like a red theme. So, though it doesn't seem like there's a lot of options. So, oh, that one looks pretty bloody though. So, we're going to hit apply on that. And I kind of want the Copenhagen characters to be more of like tanks in a way. So at level 2, they're going to get a new ability. So this here is going to be more of a defense attack. So, or a defense ability. Let me see what we have here. There should be some sort of like shield option. Okay, we'll go with that. Fortify. So, and we're going to put this up level 2. And this here is, it's not going to be doing that. It's going to be cost to user. We're not going to give it a cost, but we are going to give it a 30-second. Actually, we're going to give it a 60-second cooldown, and it's going to be self only. And what we're going to do is it's going to. Okay, so it says reducing damage for 8 seconds. Okay, so 30%, 8 seconds. So this is going to be, we're going to go with actually 20% for 8 seconds as well. Or for actually 6 seconds. So we're going to go with that. So these guys are meant to be more of a tank class. So that's kind of what I'm going with for these guys. So that way they have a little bit more of that there. So that's more of a buff that they get at level 2. So they have a 3 damage, thing there. I may reduce this down to 2 because these guys are kind of meant to be more of a tank. So, but they're more defensive. Now at level 4, is there like a taunt option? I believe that there is. So I don't know what my other options are here. Okay, there is a taunt. So we're going to have them at level 4. These guys are going to get a bit of, let me see here. What is a good one for this? So we're going to give them something a little bit more. I forgot what I was going to say now. Sorry about that. I got. No, that's. We'll just call it taunt. So, I can't think of a better name right now, but we're only going to go up to level 4 for now. And that should give them enough abilities, hopefully, to work with. So, that's for the Capanasians. Next, I think I'm going to go with. Next I'm going to work with the Narison a little bit. So these guys are also, I guess they also use Rage. So average, but we're going to call it Spar. And then it's actually not too bad. So I'm surprised they don't really have. Let me see what we have here in terms of like spears. Okay, that's actually a good one. So we're going to use 3 damage for this, and so we're going to. Because the Narison are supposed to use a spear. So, and we can actually kind of change this up a little bit. So we're going to go with a bluish color. And we kind of want this to go physical, and we're going to go straight just like the others. And make sure that this is melee. Yep. Everything's cool. So we got that going there. This one does more damage because the Narison are meant to be more DPS. So then after that, we're going to go with another. We're going to go with a. Let me see here. At level 2, they get a buff as well. So they're going to go with. Actually, these guys, I'm going to give them a dot. So. Yeah, I'm going to give these guys a dot. So, damage over time. So we're going to call this rupture. And we'll give these at level, okay, so this is at level 2. So then rupture, we're going to give these guys a dot. That is going to actually no, level 2. And okay, so we're going to do that right there. So stab the target with your... So put that one there, stab the target, dealing 1 damage over 8 seconds. So... But this one, there is a 30-second cooldown. So they can only use this. They can only use this ability once every 30 seconds. Stretch. Sorry about that. But, alright, so we're going to hit... Okay, so we hit these here. Yes, I'm going to hit apply. And so I don't know if... sorry, I kind of blanked out there, but I kind of had a... yeah, as I said, I'm not really in the best mindset right now because of what happened this morning. But I did want to continue streaming anyway. So, but if they're really if they're gonna act this way, then yeah, I'm done with them. So what else was I doing? Oh yeah, level 4. So I'm only gonna go up to level 4, so that way I can kind of. Let me see what we have here. We're going to go with... we're not going to give these guys a ranged attack. We're going to kind of treat these guys as melee DPS. But let me see what other options we have here. So we can go with a... What else here? So we're going to go with charge mana, drain mana. No, we're not going to do those. Siphon health, slow, root in place, stun, protect, weaken, or taunt. So, what's a good one here? I'll save that for a higher level. Stun, protect. No, we already kind of did a protect thing as well. 8 seconds seems to be a long time for a stun, so we're gonna go with 3. And I'm gonna pick a different tooltip for this. Nah, I don't want to go with that. What's a good stun thing? Nope. I guess we can kind of go with that. So we're gonna go with. Sorry, as I said, I'm not really in the best mindset right now. And yeah, I'm really sorry about this. I don't think I'm really in the best mindset. So. Sorry, yeah. I don't know. I probably should just end the stream now. I'm getting kind of... Let me name this ability, and then I know it's kind of a short stream, but I'm not really in the best mindset. And things are... We'll just... No, I don't want to do that. We'll just do that. And I'm really sorry, guys, but I'm not really in the best mindset to really continue doing this right now, so I'm just going to end it now. I'm not even going to put on the credits. There's some things I need to change on the credits anyway, so really sorry, guys, but this isn't working out.